So, y'all are gonna have to excuse me because this is the first time I've done a walk and talk vlog in quite a bit of time. New clubs in the bag. Yeah. So let's talk about that as I'm getting out to do more of my morning golf, getting my butt up in the morning and not just going to the gym, putting in the actual work on the course. So I went to TrueSpec. I got fit for a pretty much brand new bag. Some things are same, some things are different. I don't have a driver yet because we were not able to do the fitting. Funny story. So the day I woke up for the fitting, I didn't know it at the time, but I ended up having like a 102 degree fever. Yeah, I know, exactly, my kind of luck. But yeah, so we're gonna go through the bag today. Some of this is gonna be on course, some of this is going to be at home in the office, studio. I'm out here breathing like a fat person running a track event. And since we're walking up to a wedge shot, why don't we start with the wedges that are in the bag, which are actually some of my favorite clubs, and man, do they feel amazing. I'm gonna be using my 60. It's the Mizuno T20, 60 degrees, 10 degrees of bounce. And I will put the specs in the chat and video below, but yeah, the weight of these wedges is absolutely perfect. First wedge in the bag, Mizuno T20, 60 degrees. The reason that I hit that with a 60 degree wedge instead of my normal 56, which is what I used to carry, is because second wedge in the bag is the 54 degree Mizuno T20 with 12 degrees of bounce. So my sand wedge is now a 54 degree. I don't have a 56 degree, which I would normally hit a 60 degree or 60 yard or 70 yard shot with. So I am getting adjusted to that. But the reason that we went with a 54 versus a 56 is because I wanted a club that was going to give me exactly 105 yards on the money, and a 56 with my strike just was not quite getting it. I'm sure down the line as my strike improves that will change, but for now we've got 60 and then we go straight into a 54 and then we go right back to a gap wedge, which we'll talk about in a second. Let me hit my shot. Should have hit the 8, Kenny, because in the wind I came up hella short, but that's okay. Gives us some more time to work on those wedges, which clearly I'm gonna need a lot more work on getting used to my distance control with these new wedges. Okay, so the next set, or the next club in the bag, it is the set JPX 900 gap wedge. So I got rid of a specialized wedge for the set wedge that comes with it. I use my gap wedge for bump and runs, 3/4 shots, but mostly for a full shot. And the problem I was having with my specialized wedge is that the ball kept running up the face, and I would try to hit that 115 to 120 number, and I'd be consistently short. We tested a couple of different options. We went through multiple different wedges from different companies, and ultimately we just decided that the set wedge in my set was the best one to go for. And I ordered it off of eBay. I found it and brought it to the fitting. So we fit that bad boy up with one of my shafts that are in the set and kind of just went that direction. So it's been working out very well thus far. I still got to kind of make sure it's not going too long. And it is still a little bit weird to see that much face and that much club by the ball when I'm hitting bump and runs and quarter shots, but thus far I've got no complaints. So the irons in my bag have stayed the exact same. We're using the JPX 900 Forge gap through 5-iron. So we have put a 5-iron somewhat back in the bag. And surprisingly enough, my shafts have stayed the exact same. Project X LZ 5.5 or whatever the hell have you. Basically, we tried every shaft known to man inside of that studio. And for whatever reason, my feels just kept hitting my normal shafts as straight as possible. So we have the exact same shafts in the bag, but the iron specs have changed. So we're gonna get up here and go play this ball that went 50, 60 yards left of the green. Try to get it up and down for a birdie. I'm supposed to be all cool and YouTube golfery and say, that was a rather disappointing par because I made a par from 60 yards away on a par 5, but nah, man, I'd be okay with that par any day of the week. Still sitting 1 under for the round. That's all that matters. All right, on to my next clubs because we'll put, I'll talk a little bit more about the irons in detail when I get back home because I don't have the specs in front of me and it would take too long. Sorry about the sun. There we go. I did replace all of the hybrids in the bag. So we have 2 brand new hybrids and we're gonna pull those bad boys out right now and use them on this tee because that just seems very fitting. Oh yeah, it's the Cobra Red. I don't even know what that means, but these hybrids, I got one in a 21 degree and a 24 degree, so a 4 hybrid and a 5 hybrid. Man, they've been working lovely. Let's go ahead and tee off with this bad boy. What is there to say about the Cobra Rad hybrids? I mean, I guess that shot pretty much just sums it up. Stripe the hell out of it. Some of y'all down that lens keep telling me that I need to get my twirl gang on, so I'm gonna try to do some club twirl in practice. I'm not a big club twirler per se, but apparently when you stripe shots right up the middle, you gotta get that twirl on. So I'm gonna work on that. I've got it in the 21 degree and a 24 degree, which before I had a 24 and a 19 degree. Oddly enough, for me, more loft helps me hit my distance. So the 4 hybrid or the 5 hybrid is pretty much my 5-iron replacement. It covers 200, 205, sometimes get up there to 210. And then obviously the 21 degree, which is the 4 hybrid, kind of covers a 4-iron, 3-iron. It can hit that bad boy 215 to 220, sometimes 230 if I want to push it. But overall, I love the feel of them. They feel solid, a lot more solid than my old Cobra hybrids. They don't make a tingy noise. It's more of an iron, like thud, like a whack. Cobra, rad, totally rad, dude. Cobra rad. Some of the names in golf are just ridiculous. Cobra rad hybrids, 4 hybrid, 5 hybrid, 21 and a 24. I'll throw the shafts and the specs in the description as well. Put a little screen up. I don't know what the shafts are, but they are upgraded and all fancied, customized shafts for my custom shots. All I know is the club works and it finds the middle of the fairway. And that's an area of my game we definitely got to work on. Hitting greens from 150, 160 like that. Just let that club release a little too much and pull drawed it. Actually, I just regular drew it or overturned it. Anywho, the point being is my irons have had some adjustments. They are lie angled a little bit up to help kind of work with some of my swing tendencies. I guess we don't want to call them flaws because nobody's perfect. As far as where I landed that shot, I mean, it hit the green. It just didn't stand, you know? Do we have a stat for greens that the ball landed on in regulation but may not have stuck? Because I'd like to see those stats. don't be judging me because I duffed that chip. That lie was so wet, it was damn near a swimming pool back there. Still getting used to a few things with the wedges as far as the swing weights go and how they feel, but overall, yeah, I just got to play with them more and get used to that feeling of them because they are a lot heavier in the head or have more weight towards the head than everything else in my bag. But when we get to the rest of the bag, hold on, let me hit this par 3 shot, and then this is like 200, and then we'll talk about the woods. Fairway woods are roughly the same. They're the exact same. I still have my Cobra F7 5/6 fairway wood and also my 3 wood or whatever have you. He did change a few of the specs, which I don't know what they are. We will go back and check them. The shafts stayed the same. Whatever the stiff shafts are in there, we'll put the specs on there. And they did adjust the swing weights a little bit to be more heavier towards the head or more weight towards the head. But for all intents and purposes, they are the same clubs. They should go the same theoretical distances, and everything there is the same. So I will talk a little bit more about this when we get home because I want to finish my golf round because I am even through a couple of holes and I'd like to see how well I can score since this is part of my master plan of playing more golf and getting better at that thing called golf by actually doing more of it. So I'll see you back at home. We're going to talk a little bit more in detail and we're going to go through the build list, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about how the irons are built, why they're built that way, why the weights are that way, and what is really going on in my bag that's hopefully going to help me shoot some lower scores, get into some more winning positions, and take home some more trophies. See y'all back at the house. And we are back. Don't mind the fact that I've changed clothes, a little continuity error. It is a little bit later in the day as I obviously had to get my work day started, but now I am filming the rest of the what's in my bag. And I got my build sheet here. So we're gonna go through a little bit and talk about it and just kind of cover it over really quickly. As we talked about in the video, I had the 60-degree T20 Mizuno wedges. It is in a 10-degree bounce. They're raw finishes, so hopefully they'll rust over time. I think that's kind of a cool look. I've never had rusty wedges, so I was sold on them. We'll figure out what happens. For all you shaftoids down that lens, exactly what's in the clubs. So my raw wedges have KBS High Rev 2.0 wedge in stiff flex, and these are 64 degrees in line. I'm actually going to put the specs up here below the screen. I'll put the specs on the screen to let you know exactly what specs that I have. So here are the specs for my 60-degree wedge. I also have a 54-degree T20 in the exact same finish, same shaft, same lie as well, 64 degrees in lie. I'll put that spec again right here below. The main thing with these wedges that I wanted to point out is they are swing weight of D3, D4. My basic understanding of it is, obviously, the total overall weight of the shaft isn't changing that much, but there's a balance point on every shaft, and I typically like mine to be more weight towards the head, so I can feel the head, and that way it gives me a better understanding of where the face is at, and I can hit the shots more accurately. And then when we get over to my irons, I have the exact same setup of irons. The only difference is, again, I added in the set gap wedge, mainly for the distance. For the most part, there was not a tangible enough difference between the shafts to justify increasing the cost by adding in different shafts. And then we move on to my hybrids. I did replace both hybrids in my bag. The Cobra Rad Speed in black, the 5 hybrid and the 4 hybrid, 21 degrees and 24 degrees of loft. These are also in D2, D3 swing weight. And the shafts were upgraded to the UST Elements Recoil F4. They look to be a TrueSpec golf specific shaft. I don't really know. The price worked out for me. We'll talk about that in a later video. I'm not a shaft person. I don't know much about shafts. I know how I like the club to feel, and those hybrids go the distance that I want with the dispersion that I like to see, so that's why they're in the bag. And then we move over to the 3-wood and the 7-wood. They did adjust the settings on them and the loft and the weight on the heads to adjust the spin numbers to better control the distances that those clubs were hitting and the launch characteristics. Yep, and the loft on the 5-wood is 17.5 degrees. Swing weight's been adjusted as well. The shaft is the same, whatever that Fujikura Stiff Pro shaft is. I think it's like 65 grams or whatever have you. It's written on this list somewhere. The same thing with the 3-wood. It's now set to 14.5 degrees of loft for the 3-wood, but it is set in D, which I think is draw, or maybe it closes the face. I'm not exactly sure, but whatever he did to the club, it adjusted the spin and the start line direction so that we were getting consistent launch and consistent land angles and consistent distance with that club. Same exact shaft, but again, it has been rebuilt to make sure it's properly swing weighted for D2, D3. And my putter hasn't changed. Good old faithful. I don't think I'll probably ever change this putter, especially not if I'm holding putts like the way I've been holding them lately. My Scotty Cameron Futura 5W. So that is my what's in the bag. We do got to get a driver fitting in there, but all in all, that's what I'm rolling with for 2021. I'd love to hear from some of you down that lens. What kind of club changes have you made this year? What clubs are you putting in the bag? And what clubs are you excited about getting fit for? Let me know in that comment section below. Love to hear from you. As always, thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel. Deuces, people. Let's keep it moving.